DJI just dropped their newest firmware for the DJI Pocket 3. It's got some great fixes and some new features that I think you'll be particularly happy about if you're a live streamer. So the first update is bringing 4K 30 frames per second live streaming to the Pocket 3. Now this is a big deal because I think in the $500 price range, you're not going to get a better camera or, a webcam or something like that that's going to look as good as this camera. We're looking at a 1-inch sensor, 2.0 aperture, and now the ability to live stream from this thing in 4K 30. That should be something that perks your ears up if you are someone who does IRL or even like game streaming. They also included a new mode, and this is a new gimbal mode that's like FPV lock in a way, and I hate to say lock in that way, but what the idea here is that the gimbal and the camera will be perpendicular to the LCD when you're using this mode. Now that seems kind of weird, but when you're trying to track a subject, one of the downfalls of having a gimbal, and especially on the Pocket 3, even if you made it a fast follow movement when you're moving or tracking an object, a lot of times you just would not be able to keep them in frame long enough because your gimbal's always going to lag behind. Now in theory, this will fix that and we'll be able to do much easier tracking and quick movements and be able to capture them much better than we could without this mode. Another thing DJI included was the ability to turn off auto off. And what that means is when you record something and then you click the record button again to stop it and you walk away, you'll start hearing that countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it will automatically shut off. Now this is great for saving battery, but can be quite annoying. So now you are given the ability via the menu system to have that completely turned off. Speaking of off, they also included the ability to auto turn off the LCD when you're on wearable mode. Now what that means is you can put the Pocket 3, let's say on a shoulder strap, and basically when you put it in wearable mode, it does two things. It turns on tilt lock and it turns on the LCD screen in selfie mode. That LCD screen used to just stay on. So you'd be walking around and people could actually see themselves in the LCD screen. So it wasn't the most discreet. So what DJI has done now is when you put it into wearable mode, yes, it will still go into selfie mode, but after 5 seconds, it will completely shut off that LCD screen. And the best two, in my opinion, are the last two. First being when you used to connect the Mic 2 to the DJI Pocket 3, there would be this massive banner that pretty much covered the entire LCD screen. And then you'd have to touch it and flick it away. Sometimes it was very stubborn. It would just stay there and it stays there forever. It was super, super duper annoying. And a lot of people were kind of, griping about it online. So DJI went ahead and fixed that as well. And what they did here was when you connect it, it's going to appear, but then disappear on its own. No action required for you to click the screen or swipe away. And then I think one of the most important things, and I suspect they still have to work on this, is the Pocket 3 does suffer a bit from auto-focusing issues. It tends to focus hunt as well as have a little bit of this focus breathing. Now I only find it really in the continuous mode, and that makes sense because the camera basically is continuously looking for something that it thinks it needs to focus on. Now I've actually had this ruin a couple of my shots, and I tend now to shoot if I can in a fixed focus because of that. But it certainly is not ideal, and it's another thing that you could frankly just mess up if you click on the screen and you think it's focusing, let's say, on the foreground. It may not be. So that can be a bit cumbersome when you're out in the field shooting. So hopefully this optimization of the autofocus will help to resolve some of those issues. It is super frustrating because you typically only notice it in post. And then that point, I mean, it just ruins some shots. And yeah, okay, maybe I'm a little bitter because I liked some of those shots. There were some other minor fixes. They don't really say what they are. They never do. But I'm sure overall, it's just improving the quality of the Pocket 3. If you don't yet have the latest firmware for the Pocket 3, super easy to do. Just connect it to the Osmo app. You will get a pop-up if the firmware is available. Go ahead and follow those prompts and it will easily download the firmware to your Pocket 3. Now, we also need to upgrade the mic, and the mic is a little bit more cumbersome and involved. And in order to do that, you need to plug this into your computer, download a bin file from DJI's website, place it onto the device itself, and then it will upgrade. So not as smooth as a process as upgrading, let's say, the Pocket 3. Both of these directions will be down in the description. Well, that about wraps it up for this set of firmware. I am certainly thankful that DJI is continuing their dedication to this camera and listening to all of us out there that do have issues and responding to them with relevant firmware fixes. This is a big win, not only for DJI, but for all of us that use the Pocket 3, because I assume there's a lot of us that probably use this every day. Great quality of life fixes, as well as some fixes that we really did need, and I can only assume it's going to continue to get better and better. Anyways, I hope you'll like this video and consider subscribing. I'm Hill Phantom. I'll see you next time.